WGLH-TV is bringing you a very special program. Gahanna Lincoln High School has a strong academic rigor and excellent opportunities in classes. This is one reason why the Gahanna community continues to grow. Hi, I'm Michael Cromer.
I'm Jason Graff.
I'm Grace English, and we will be bringing you a special in-depth show this week focusing on the strong academic programs and community we have here in Gahanna.
One of those programs that students have been working on for 9 years is the Honor Flight program. This is where World War II and Korean veterans are flown to D.C. for the day to visit the memorials built in their honor.
With an average age of 90, over 1,200 veterans die each day, and many of them have not had the opportunity to travel to our nation's capital.
Through a very special program called Honor Flight, which was created in Ohio 11 years ago, this trip is made possible.
Honor Flight pays for the costs of all of these veterans, and each veteran is assigned a guardian that will assist them throughout the day.
The cost of the trip is for the 83 veterans is over $50,000, and the WGLH-TV program, as well as the Gahanna community, attempt to sponsor this trip.
This is truly a moving experience for the veterans and the guardians that support them along the way.
Danny Kosick and Annie Alkimovich have more about this story.
Honor Flight is an organization that gives veterans the opportunity to see the memorials that were built in their honor.
They probably wouldn't be able to go on this trip without the Honor Flight funding and flight.
We're about to take you on a tour of what a day with Honor Flight is really like.
The veterans first get up early in the morning to catch their flight at the Columbus airport.
When the veterans get off their plane in Baltimore, they are greeted by members of our military.
The bus they're traveling in is escorted by police so they can beat DC traffic.
Their first stop is at the Arlington National Cemetery, where they get to see the changing of the guard.
They all load back on the bus and head to the World War II Memorial. We talked to one of the veterans about what they think about the trip so far.
This has been a great experience. I really enjoyed myself. In fact, my first trip to D.C. So it's been a thrilling time.
While at the memorial, the ex-soldiers got to reminisce and were entertained by some dances.
A group of men who are currently in the service now put on a performance for our veterans.
Their next stop was at the Korean War Memorial.
We talked to one of the guardians about why they decided to take part in Honor Flight.
It's an amazing experience. It's just a chance to give back. I served, and for me, it's just a way to connect with a lot of the veterans who have given so much for our country.
The Korean Memorial has names of the deceased from the war. Veterans can look for their comrades among the walls.
We talked to another veteran about his day with Honor Flight.
Well, I don't know where to start or what to say, but I'll give it a try. I think this has been one of the most awesome days in my life. Everything just went together perfect. I've always said nothing happens till somebody acts, and there was a whole lot of people did a whole lot of acting to put this all together. I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful.
The veterans are rushed back to the airport so they can be flown back to Columbus, Ohio, where they are greeted by members of the community and the Gahanna Lincoln Band.
We asked another Guardian how she enjoyed her day with Honor Flight.
Today has been one of the greatest days of my life, and that I had a chance to be involved with Korean vets and World War II vets, and I got to interact with them and see other people's interaction with them. I think that was the surprise. I wasn't expecting that as much, but it was, without a doubt, one of the most joyful days I will ever remember in my life. There's no doubt about it. I'm very happy that I got to do this.
As a past Guardian myself, I know the Honor Flight is truly a memorable day for both Guardians and veterans. This has been Danny Kosick.
And Annie Alhimovich reporting for WGLH-TV.
A program here at the school that has not only gained respect around Central Ohio, but also throughout the state, is our theater department. Just this year, they won Best Performances in Central Ohio. Jason Graff, Jessica Jones, and Grace English take us behind the curtain to look at this special program.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sweet sound of warm-ups. This is the place where a very empty little theater will turn into a rather filled little theater, where the lights rain down from above, and where we prepare for our season to begin. This is Gahanna Lincoln High School's theater department.
Theater has always been an important part of GLHS, and I was very fortunate that when I stepped in 20 plus years ago, I had a very, very solid base from which to work. Mrs. P.D. Dodrell was the person before me, and she established such a good working environment. Work ethic was established. I didn't have a lot to do from that standpoint, but a lot of theater and what we have done since then, we've built several new shows into the curriculum. We've also added some classes to the curriculum, which have been very beneficial. For instance, the musical theater class and the tech theater class, which we felt there was obviously a need for that because students were asking. But I do think the program here does maintain a core set of values. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and together we are stronger than we are separate. And I think that never goes away. It's part of the philosophy that is embedded here, and the idea that we can work together to create something wonderful and magical for an audience is part of the storytelling. And if we tell the story honestly and truthfully, then the audience is going to buy into it, and they have for the last 20 years.
Among other notable shows such as Hairspray, West Side Story, the theater program is currently preparing for their upcoming performance of Shrek this May.
So my first show I auditioned for was West Side Story, and that was my freshman year. And what interested me in theater was, I don't really know what the original aspect was, but I was coming out of kind of like a weird phase in my life. I had just failed my first class ever, and I had to find myself as like an academic, and so I was trying to find my niche, my new niche that I could belong to, somewhere that I felt welcome, somewhere that I felt that I could excel. And the theater program seemed like the right choice for me just because it was open and there was so many like people in there, and there was no like stock person who was in theater. Like it wasn't like this type of person, this tall, blonde, whatever kind of person is in there. It was open to anyone and it was welcoming to anyone. And that was a really attractive quality to me. And so when I started theater, I really kind of discovered myself, I guess, as cliche and cheesy as that sounds. I kind of learned what I liked and the kind of people I liked and what I like to be around and the energy that suited me best and the work environment that suited me best. And I really just found a place that I could feel comfortable with myself. And it helped me gain a lot of confidence. It helped me find a lot of new friends that I plan on keeping forever. I really hope so, at least. I don't know. It's just it's a great environment to be in, and I wouldn't trade my time here for anything.
Thanks.
I love that account.
There are 5 theater classes offered at GLHS consisting of Intro to Theater, Musical Theater, Theater Appreciation, Technical Theater, and Performance Studio.
While many students are involved in productions on stage, just as many are involved off. Theater has helped me grow as a person.
Theater has helped me gain friends and confidence.
And we are excited to finish our senior year in the theater program. This has been Jason Graff,
Grace English,
And Jessica Jones,
reporting for WGLH-TV.
For the past 13 years, all choirs at Gahanna Lincoln High School have earned 1s. A 1 is the highest score that you can earn at the district and state level competition.
Gahanna may be taking these scores for granted. For many districts, just receiving a 1 is a major accomplishment.
Dara Morales and Victoria Mero take us to show this special program.
Here at the high school, there are many electives students can choose from to show off their talents. One elective in particular is the vocal music program offered here at the high school. Students can begin taking a choir class their freshman year without having to audition.
There is a freshman girls choir and a freshman boys choir. This is where the choir director, Mr. Jeremy Lehman, teaches basic music reading skills and singing techniques, along with the help from his accompanist, Mrs. Marina Arishina. Even though they are younger choirs, they are still expected to look professional and uniform.
The goal for these 2 choirs is to eventually make it to women's a cappella or chorale next year.
I'm a member of the a cappella choir, and I started choir all the way back in 6th grade because I've always had a love for singing, and you had to choose a music in middle school, so I decided to go with choir. And I loved it so much that I stayed in it all the way till now. I'm a junior, and high school choir has been one of the best experiences in my high school career.
Women's ensemble is the intermediate choir for ladies grades 10 through 12. The ultimate goal is a cappella. It is Gahanna's holy grail of choirs.
However, some students like Carl Turner have to balance choir and other activities.
I also wrestle and play baseball, so it's kind of like choir doesn't really affect any sports because like it's during the day, so it's kind of easy to balance sports and choir. But sometimes like with the district tournament, it comes like during the state contest, so I'll just be like a little late. I'll just have to ride separately, but I guess it's kind of easy to balance sports and choir.
This choir is also one to take more risks with their voices.
This year, a cappella performed at the OMEA conference in Cincinnati, Ohio. They performed in front of Ohio's most respected music professors and even some GLHS choir alumni.
There are multiple challenges associated with performing at the OMEA State Conference this year. First off, it's the first time the Gahanna choirs have been accepted to perform at OMEA State Conference. That's really exciting for us, so there's a lot of pressure involved there. I think preparing a cappella and chorale music at the same time, it has a lot of challenges to it. Preparing 10 songs for about an hour-long concert definitely is challenging.
If a cappella is the meat and potatoes, then chorale is the cherry on top. Chorale is a show choir that is made up of some of the program's best singers and dancers.
A lot of hard work goes into this choir, including practice every day at school, as well as 2 days a week at night at the beginning of the school year. This choir, along with the others, are some of the best groups in Ohio due to their hard work and help from their amazing directors. If you want to sing and dance as well as these kids,
try out for choir next year. Until then, this has been Victoria Mero
and Dara Morales, reporting for WGLH-TV.
A program that has been around since the 1930s is the Instrumental Music Program, or Band and Orchestra. Just this year, they had to add one more senior level to the band, which now makes for a total of 3 large bands. Our band members, Kennedy Lake and Jasmine Bryant, have more on this story.
Kelly Shellhammer, a director of Jazz 1 and 2 for the past 26 years, has always had an outstanding performance with her bands. We spoke with saxophone player Gabe Dent about how he likes his experience in jazz band.
I just like making music. I like playing saxophone mostly. I like being able to see the fruits of my labor, and seeing all the hard work that I put in pay off during concerts, and I like expressing myself through my solos. I don't know. I just like the genre. It's clean. You don't have distractions in the words. You know that you decipher it. You just feel it, and you can like speak to a bunch of different types of people through the music, since it's not like a language, it's a universal language. I used to hate waking up early, but now it's all right because I gotten used to it. I think it's definitely worth it, and I think if you're interested in it, you should try out, see what you can do. It should be an honors class because this class, it's hard. You get a grade for it, and it's time consuming. You got to put time into it. It's fun. It's worth it. Try it, and yeah.
Jazz band, directed by Kelly Shellhammer for the past 26 years, has always had outstanding performances. I got the opportunity to speak with David Foley, a first-chair tuba player for Silver Band. He tells us about some of the things that they struggled with this year and how they've worked to improve.
So this year in marching band, I think we did really well. We did, I think, about 5 shows, and it was really tough most of the time, but we always pulled through somehow. And this concert season has actually been going very well as well, because we actually have a new band this year, Silver Band, which I'm a part of, and I'm actually a first-year tuba. And it's really interesting the kind of sound we have, and it's completely unique from both the gold band and blue band, and I'm sure it'll be successful for years to come.
I talked to several students that are involved in bands.
Band is really great. Freshman year when I became a part of band, it became a place where I really felt comfortable and I really learned like who my real friends could be, and I made a lot of great connections freshman year, and that allowed me to have a great sophomore through senior year in our senior bands. Being a part of marching band, being a part of gold band last year and silver band this year, I'm really able to grow my musicianship as well as grow with the people around me in our friendships, in our playing, in our bond, and I really love how Gahanna's music program is set up.
As you can see, band is a great addition to many high school careers. This has been Jasmine Bryant and Kennedy Lake reporting for WGLH-TV.
And here's another story that a WGLH reporter has brought back.
The Fab Lab is in its first year here and is taught by new teacher, Mr. Kunzelman.
That circle, I'm going to extrude that circle 0.5.
Students have the ability to work with old and new technology. Mr. Kunzelman shares his thoughts on the course.
Fab Lab is a collaborative space where students can work on projects and design and build and pretty much let their imagination run in an engineering way, and we kind of inspire students to be collaborative and work with a bunch of other people and really just solve problems and make cool projects. I like teaching this class because every day it's different. We're always bringing on new projects and new things to do and working on different kinds of tools. So it is an ever-changing class, and even from year to year, the tools and technologies change. So it really keeps you on your feet, and it's a very high-energy environment.
This fabulous lab has really created some awesome projects.
Click them to drop them in, and then right-click Create or right-click Cancel to get rid of them.
One student, Wayne Stegner, really enjoys this new class.
My favorite part about Fab Lab is you get to choose which projects you work on, so I can choose projects that fit my interests, which are technology and computers. I'm using an Arduino board, which is a microprocessor, to use an ultrasonic sensor to detect when someone gets near, and then when it detects someone near, it'll flash lights. It's for a Halloween decoration.
The Fab Lab students have been striving to achieve a new understanding of their technology. This has been Mike Kittle reporting for WGLH-TV.
The visual arts classes also challenge creativity. The teachers have gone through some changes with classes and curriculum this year. Lindsay Stahl and Lindsay Stamus show us what they've been up to.
Here at Gahanna Lincoln High School, an art class is required to graduate. This gives students a great opportunity to show off their artistic abilities.
Some VPAs that count here at the high school are TV, theater, choir, drawing, painting, photography, ceramics, and jewelry making.
The wide variety of art classes gives students that may not have artistic ability with paints and clay a class that uses your creativity in film. This class is TV. In this class, students learn to film and edit news stories of their own and also use skills at anchoring to put together 30-minute long productions. This is aired on local television. Before students are able to be a part of WGLH-TV program, they must first take the Intro to TV class. This class alone is enough art credits that is required for high school, but is also a very fun, hands-on class that many students enjoy being involved with.
In the sculpting class, they have the duty to create many different pieces of abstract art that use different pieces of material, such as cardboard, they use paint, and other different materials. The students in this class really enjoy what they're doing and look forward to it every day, being able to use their creative outlet.
In sculpting, like many of the other classes, students are given their basic instructions by the instructors, and then given time to make their own works of art independently. This independent work time is another part about art that students really enjoy. Another benefit Gahanna art programs have is the availability to supplies and tools to be able to create their work, and once they finish, there is plenty of displays and events to show finished masterpieces. Yet another example of a creative class is drawing. In this class, they learn many things about dimensions and making drawings into lifelike 3D pictures using different line work skills. But how do students pick between all these classes? I talked to Sam Cruz on how he decided on an art class that fits him best.
I come over with a horizontal line. I draw it across if I'm looking.
There was a wide variety of art classes that I was able to take. It came down to me when to take photography in college, so I just took black and white photography, and I'm also looking at digital photography because it's just something that I'm really interested in, and that's really it.
As you can see, with such a wide variety, there's an art class out there for everyone. This has been Lindsay Stamus and Lindsay Stahl reporting from WGLH-TV.
One project that the students and staff of Gahanna have been working on is the one-room schoolhouse. Now that the one-room schoolhouse is finished, it is used as a museum for third-grade students to see what it was like to go to school in the 1800s. Colton Bosaw and Mylan Jackson take us on a tour of the building.
You have to crank and then talk into it and hold it up like this. Maybe some of you have seen the TV show Little House on the Prairie.
The One Room Schoolhouse is a historical renovation project headed by the city of Gahanna to bring back something from the town of old. The One Room Schoolhouse is a great field trip for younger kids so they can see what it was like to go to school in older generations without so much technology. While at the One Room Schoolhouse, students learn basic reading and writing skills, as well as public speaking and math. The One Room Schoolhouse isn't just for children. The original group for the test run of the One Room Schoolhouse was a group of senior citizens. One of the main coordinators for the One Room Schoolhouse was WGLH-TV's very own Mr. Gregory. He had a lot to say about the project.
We want kids to learn to appreciate their local history. So often, you learn about history and you learn about it in, textbooks and pictures, and we want kids to see history's all around them. And hopefully, too, it makes them appreciate their history and understand the importance of preserving history.
A lot of money and hard work went into rebuilding the schoolhouse to its original form. Mr. Gregory talks more about this.
4 years ago, and we weren't sure that it was a schoolhouse or not. It looked like it. They had converted the front into a garage, so we weren't sure. And so I had some students, and we researched that. We had to go down to the county office and look at records and everything else to try and find out for sure. And then we contacted, it was for sale at the time, and the guy that was selling it wanted $1 million for it. And we thought, oh my gosh, we're not going to buy the property. So we kind of shelved it. And then about a year or so after that, I didn't realize, but the city had bought the property and they were demolishing the house and the garage. So we'd done all that history and research right then, showed it to the city. And then because of all that research we had done, they realized that, and we convinced them to hold off on demolishing the garage. They got rid of everything else and gave us time to fundraise to be able to restore it and move it. And we had to raise about $80,000. Once we even got close, once we got half, we had enough that we could take it apart and move it onto school property. And so we did that, continued the fundraising, and then once we had the full funds that we needed, we went ahead and had it restored.
Even today, kids still take the field trip to the one-room schoolhouse to learn about the history it provides.
Now you have to stand when you read, and read so I can hear this way, or you're going to have homework.
It really is great to see how well the community came together to bring something that everybody in the community is able to use.
Excellent singing.
It's lovely to see such a great piece of history in Gahanna still being preserved today.
And finally, after years of hard work and campaigning, the one-room schoolhouse is open to the public, and it truly is a wonderful experience you need to see for yourself.
Sharon Cremeen, one of the directors of the one-room schoolhouse, had a lot to say about its development.
Schoolhouse has been a big, exciting event at Lincoln Elementary. All the children have been watching it being built. It started in the summer, but it was maybe about halfway done when school started. Thanks for visiting. Bye.
There are some very innovative programs that are now being taught at Clark Hall. These programs, provided by Eastland Fairfield Career Center, are providing a hands-on training experience.
These programs include bioscience technology, architecture, and teaching professions. Alex Metz and Cale Baker give us more about what Eastland Fairfield has to offer.
The Eastland Fairfield program has many satellite schools, one being Gahanna, where specifically the classes are held over at Clark Hall.
Students are introduced to a very wide variety of programs their sophomore year. These programs can range from anywhere into the auto industry to heating and cooling and even computer programming. The three programs at Clark Hall are bioscience, architecture, and even teaching professions. Each program is focused around a specific skill that will benefit the students in their future. This type of program is very beneficial for students because the real-world, hands-on learning they do. The Teaching Professions program allows students to do things they would not be able to during the normal day, such as plan lessons.
Another program housed here at Gahanna is the bioscience technologies that is taught by Mrs. Ryan.
I can't do this after credit card. It might be. I might need help. I know some of the seniors have to do the one on Broad Street.
The bioscience program here at Gahanna is very beneficial to any student that would like to go into that field. The bioscience program allows you to get hands-on training with all the equipment that students will use. This is a very successful program that Eastland Fairfield has to offer to students. This class is a very relaxed environment where students are able to work on labs at their own pace and get anything done that they need to get done. The students use real-world tools to get the best experience they can out of this class.
The final program that holds space in Clark Hall is the Advanced Architecture program. This is a very in-depth class based around structural engineering. Many students from other schools come to Clark Hall to take this program. In this class, students do everything from building models with Legos all the way to drawing accurate blueprints. Precision is very key in this class, and all types of tools and utensils are used. I was able to talk to class president Umal Vahari about what she does in the class.
Right now, as a senior, we're building a chapel for an actual client. We're designing the whole thing by ourselves. We are coming up with the materials, the pricing. We have a budget of $10,000, and it's an experience that not a lot of high schoolers get. The juniors right now are designing their houses. It's not for actual clients, so they're getting used to how it actually works, the simple stuff, before they get to tackle on the hard stuff.
So the Career Center here at Gahanna has actually helped students take steps towards their future and setting up their career. I know a couple of guys in the auto tech who have gone into their senior year with jobs and still getting an education, so that helps set up a career.
The Eastland Fairfield programs are available to many students.
A few of them are held at Clark Hall, including teaching, architecture, and bioscience.
This has been Alex Metz
And Cale Baker, reporting for WGLH-TV.
With the global community becoming smaller and smaller, learning a foreign language has become almost essential. Gahanna is involved in a very special exchange program. Our Gahanna students, Mike Kittle and Michael Cromer, tell us more about this program.
Hi, I'm Mike Kittle.
And I'm Michael Cromer, and we're going to show you Gahanna Lincoln High School. On my left is the guidance office, where you can talk to several counselors for all your transferring and scheduling needs.
Miss Summers talks about the support she gives foreign exchange students.
So we have a pretty strong support system for the students that are coming from China. I'm probably the most primary person that they're going to come to for support. So anytime they have questions, concerns about classes, about applying to college, that's going to be me. If they're feeling uncomfortable in any of their classes or something really isn't going well, maybe even with their host family or with a teacher, they can always come here. And then another huge support for them is probably Mrs. Garling, our ELL teacher, because she can meet with them, help support them in their academics so that they're really getting quality help here at the high school.
Right here is the ELL classroom, where students can become better acclimated to the American culture. Miss Garling, the teacher of the ELL program, talks about how the class can help.
So when you come to this country, even if you've studied it for years, it's a big shock to actually apply it in everyday living. Living with the host family is not always easy. So just kind of being here to have that class to, ask cultural questions, to ask what certain phrases or expressions mean. ELL just helps students adapt to our culture and the language here in the U.S.
This building houses the language classes, where students can learn many different languages, including Chinese.
Foreign exchange students Terry and Martina had a message to share with their Chinese classmates.
好吧，那就来这里上学吧。然后我觉得真的是反正挺好的吧。然后学校也特别大，真的学校巨大。来吧。
放学时间很早，然后休息时间很足够，所以就有各种 AP 课程。如果是senior 同学可以就是过来先为大学先多补一点学分，可以多学几门 AP。对，就这样。
Clark Hall is the newest addition to our school. It's a building across the street where students get the opportunity to take specialized classes in state-of-the-art classrooms.
Foreign exchange student Terry describes our school.
And the courses, I think the courses are really interesting. And here they offer a lot of AP courses which are really advanced and helpful. And yeah, I think here, your future, your prosper can be guaranteed.
Gahanna Lincoln High School has an excellent foreign exchange program, which helps build diversity in the Gahanna community. For WGLH-TV, this has been Michael Cromer
and Mike Kittle.
Communicating and publishing all the events that go on at our school are done by different journalism classes. TV, newspaper, and yearbook have won many local, state, and national awards. Aaron Kemp and Elijah Sweet, members of journalism themselves and plan to major in college, give us more.
Oh, my heart hurts. Celebrated.
TV, newspaper, and yearbook are all journalism classes available to students to take here at the high school.
These classes can be very helpful for students who plan to major in journalism in college so they can later pursue journalism as a real-world career later in life. WGLH-TV is the award-winning program where students can learn how to create stories, do interviews, and also anchor. There are all different types of equipment used to create a viable TV story. Students even learn how to properly use production equipment.
Dance going to district competition. Jessica Jones has some more.
Their fearless leader, Tom Gregory, is there every step of the way to help make sure the students learn everything they can.
I talked to Mackenzie Swetland about TV class.
We do lead-ins, which are the weekly news that can be found on TV and online. And we do daily news, which is for the school to let them know what's going on in the community and what's going on in the high school. We make stories for our lead-ins, which are about the community, what's going on, and what people are up to, like student spotlights. We pick a student in the class, not in the class, in the school to focus on. And then we do PSAs, which go on after announcements.
It's a great class to develop your skills for journalism for the future.
Free of charge. You can register online or in the guidance office.
On Thursday, March 10th at 7 p.m. speech class, and he asked if I wanted to be in TV, and I was actually really nervous about it to start because I'm not really good in front of people. But then I talked to a lot of people, and they said they loved the class. It's really laid back, and it's fun to get to know people. And then I joined the class, and they were right. I met a ton of new people, a lot of new friends, and it's a great way to get out into the community and get involved and stuff like that. So,
Student council. Wait, what was I going to say?
Newspaper is a great way to help refine your writing skills when it comes to journalism.
Students in newspaper get a chance to write 2 articles each month. Another journalism class here at the high school is yearbook. Yearbook teaches students how to write papers and design pages.
Junior Rachel Shannon shares some insight on what yearbook is all about.
Advertisement staff, which I'm on, and I ask businesses for money so I can advertise their business, and it's a great opportunity. There's also editors who edit the reporters' papers, and there's also reporters who report about everything that's going on in the school, and there's like basketball, there's stats, there's stories on Gahannathon, and a lot of different stuff like that.
As you can see, there are many ways to get involved with journalism here at the high school. This has been Elijah Sweet and Aaron Kim reporting for WGLH-TV.
The organization here at the high school that is responsible for many of the major events and being a voice for the student body is Student Council. They are under new leadership this year with Sean Middleman. Ria Gupta and Elizabeth Weiner tell us more about what they are focusing on this year.
If you are searching for student leaders, look no further than your GLHS Student Council.
Student Council plans many events throughout the school year, taking place in the fall, winter, and spring.
Teamwork is crucial, so events go well and order is kept during the year.
In the fall, we planned the homecoming dance as well as the pep rally. At the pep rally, we recognize the fall sports, homecoming court, play games with student volunteers, clubs speak on their behalf, cheerleaders and lionettes perform, as well as our own GLHS band, and most importantly, we want the student body to get excited for the dance. Even the teachers get in on the fun.
But it's not all fun and games. Last-minute decisions and tedious work all goes into the success of our events.
We talked to Kat Leonard about how she thinks Student Council is doing as a whole.
I think so far they're doing a really great job with their new advisor.
Another event that Student Council plans is our big fundraiser for pediatric cancer called Gahannathon. It is a 6-hour dance marathon, and we start fundraising at the beginning of the year and ended up raising $26,801, all for the kids.
During the dance, many activities are available to use. Face paint, pie a teacher in the face, basketball, and frisbee are just a few.
Again, even teachers get in on the fun.
Student Council loves to break barriers about teenage stereotypes and show that we love to help our community out as much as we can.
Students even have the chance to write why they dance or who they dance for. Some other events Student Council plans are prom, Peace Week, Lunch on the Lawn, Staff Appreciation Luncheon, and much more. We talked to advisor Sean Middleman to see how things are going.
My student council duties as far as being an advisor are really to just make sure that the group has the opportunities that they need. They're very active in terms of seeking out leadership opportunities. They're very active in terms of fundraising, caring people who want to help their community. My job is to put them in the best position to do it and essentially act as bumpers on a bowling alley so that as they're trying to knock the pins down, I make sure that they stay on target.
Student Council is a family. We all work together to make sure events go as smoothly as possible because we all know problems occur all the time and you have to be quick on your feet to think of solutions. And don't forget, Student Council isn't all work. We have a lot of fun in what we do. Make sure to pick up your application for next year and try out. Applications are due March 24th.
The goal of Student Council is to make high school memories last a lifetime.
Gahanna-thon, prom, and homecoming are just 3 of the ways that we make that happen. Until next time, this has been Liz Wayner
and Ria Gupta, reporting for WGLH-TV.
With a push to add new classes, the Science Department has added a few new ones for students to take this year, and they have already received national recognition. Rachel Shannon and Mackenzie Swetland show us what some of these classes are like.
No, I'm fine, thank you. We have to bribe.
Gahanna Lincoln High School offers many science classes at Clark Hall. During a student's 8th grade year, students can start taking STEM classes, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics-based courses. There are many tools and pieces they will be using to build their robots.
The different parts that they're going to be using throughout. The purpose of the class is to give the kids an introduction into robotics so it creates a bridge into the high school programs.
Before they can start building, Mrs. Rathburn has to teach them basic pieces they will be using.
And attach it to a piece like that, and then take a gear, which you have not learned how the gears are used, but strengths, meaning your limitations. We're working on free builds, which allows them to learn how to use the different parts that they're going to be using throughout the course.
The students are able to build any structure they want, but they can only use 10 pieces.
Go get it.
Is anyone taking pictures of this?
It's very hands-on and collaborative. The kids work together in groups. They're challenged all the time in their own individual way, and it also creates awareness of the skills that are going to be needed in the 21st century.
They use these robotic skills in middle school to transfer into classes like space technology.
Will you pause it? Sorry. Will you pause it?
Space Tech focuses on creating and modeling equipment for space exploration.
I can't.
Their midterm is a space mission sponsored by NASA.
Teacher Tyler Bruns talks about Project Vesta.
Nothing worth more. Project Vesta is a simulated NASA mission where teams will develop a rover to explore the Vesta surface. They will develop a lander to get the rover onto the surface, upright and intact, and then they have a PR team that will try and sell their specific mission and their rover and their lander to NASA so that they can actually be the ones who go on the mission.
With many group projects, communication is vital for a successful project.
It helps with it, so it can equalize, but I think we have this basic.
Okay, there we go.
All students present their project to a group of guest judges that even includes the former teacher of Space Tech, Mr. Donaldson.
And we would have to dismantle the entire bot, but we did fix it. Like I said, we made progress every single day.
and it's actually going pretty well. The only problem we had was with the wheels at first.
As the CEO of Space Gladiators, there was a lot involved, especially with me and Katie both being on the public relations team. We did everything from the video, the brochure, and we'll be presenting to the judges today about everything we've accomplished over the past couple of weeks and how well we've been doing and working as a team. And we're just really trying to keep everyone together, keep everyone getting along and getting everything done, and we've been very successful.
Come on.
As you can see, there are a lot of science classes offered here at the high school. This has been Rachel Shannon
and Mackenzie Sweatland
reporting for WGLH-TV.
Just last year, the city of Gahanna was named one of the best cities in the nation. It is named this because of our strong Parks and Recreation Department. Michael Cromer gives us the story.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation is a nonprofit organization of volunteers who are committed to raising additional funds to support the Gahanna community and the Parks and Rec Department. The money raised by the foundation is used to support many community events each year beyond the city's financial resources. The foundation supports the Gahanna community and its residents through many different areas, like giving summer camp scholarships to Gahanna children, assisting and offering additional recreation opportunities with the Creekside Live concert series, and giving over $20,000 to community art projects, including the historical mural on Mill Street and 5 unique art installations in the Creekside district. The Creekside Live Concert Series is a community recreation program that the Foundation has helped to provide the past couple years in partnerships with assistance from local businesses and the Parks and Recreation Department.
Well, we see a lot of people that come in here from out of town, from different communities all over. They come and enjoy the beautiful scenery we have down here, the live entertainment, just to get out and enjoy the nice weather. I mean, even though this year's weather wasn't the best, we still had a lot of people come down for all the concerts, and they really enjoyed coming to town, and we like them coming and seeing our town.
Among the many art projects in the Creekside District, you can find several art pieces produced by Steve Bush, an area resident.
Most of all, they made it available. When Creekside was created, they made artwork a part of the process and the dream of what Creekside would be. And so there was a thought about it from the beginning concept of this to begin with. Then more and more people were excited about that and excited about the details, the beauty, the final result. And there was monies left over to be able to do so. So first off, they outreach to the community to say, look at art. Number 2, they give an opportunity to artists to submit things and to make it happen, you know, actually from design to actual 3D sculpture, which will be here for generations.
Another art project provided through the foundation is the historical mural on the side of Signature's Mill Street Tavern.
Yeah, it's not just a wonderful piece of art that's in the community, but each one of those images, some are from the mid-1800s, some are in the mid-1900s, are important icons or landmarks or people. And as they walk by, it's a great conversation starter. And the locals and those of us that live around here love it. It always strikes up a conversation, and it makes sure that even as we're in the middle of this street with great development, new buildings, new businesses, we do remember the old ones and the ones that were here a long time ago and not so long ago.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation, since its beginning in 2008, has provided over 200 camper scholarships to the Parks and Recreation Department's summer camp programs.
So camps are important for kids of themselves because they gain a ton of skill sets while they're at camp, from the socialization of making friends. They deal with conflict resolution, leadership skills, and just what happens when they try a new skill, and it gives them a safe environment to fail. For lack of better words, not that we want them to fail, but you know, if they don't catch a fish on their first try, they're surrounded by people who can support them in that experience. As far as the community, it gives kids a place to go. instead of during the summertime where they're just kind of like hanging out doing nothing. It gets them outside, it gets them active. We bring in different community involvement so they get to know the things available in their community. We utilize other parks in the community, we utilize the pool, so it just kind of brings us all together and gives kids, opens their eyes to what the community has to offer.
Oh, just come to me.
The Gahanna Parks and Recreation Foundation is a crucial part of our community because it helps support several projects just like this historical art mural behind me. For WGLH-TV, this has been Michael Cromer.
The World War II class in Gahanna's History Department has made a major impact on some students. Jennifer Kander has not only been teaching about the Holocaust and the war, but she has also been working on a very special project. Jonathan Mays and David Voley have the scoop.
Forever let this place be a cry of despair and a warning to humanity, where the Nazis murdered about 1.5 million men, women and children.
Ziggy Schipper is speaking of a place named Auschwitz. Auschwitz was one of many Nazi concentration camps established during World War II. Located in southern Poland, Auschwitz served as an internment camp for all peoples deemed enemies of the Nazi state. Once there, the majority of the people were exterminated, often in gas chambers or used as slave labor.
Why kill babies?
It is estimated that 1 million people died in Auschwitz. Unfortunately, that number only accounts for 1/6 of the nearly 6 million people that died during the Holocaust. Today, many memorials have been established throughout the world to remember the 6 million that lost their lives, including here at Gahanna Lincoln High School.
Really, the idea of the project is not an original one. It's not my original one. Mindy Naiman, who is Jacob Naiman's mom, she was excited that I was teaching World War II, and she said, you know, I really hope you go beyond just the strategy of battles and different tanks and armory and really look at the human side of the war. And it was that idea that led me to the Whitwell Middle School paperclip project that I thought we could incorporate that and make that a very Gahanna project.
In fact, the paperclips did have a connection to Jewish people during the Holocaust.
When in Norway, when the Jews were protesting against the Germans, a nice silent way of the protest was to wear the paperclip over the Star of David. And so then you knew you were united among the other Jews and that you were not for this cause.
The basis of the project is to collect 6 million paperclips, with each one representing a life lost. Students have just one semester to collect as many paperclips as possible, usually from family and friends, and occasionally some celebrities.
Well, this one person just put 26,000 of them at my doorstep. No rhyme or reason, but it must have been one of the people I sent a letter to. I have no idea.
Ruben and Shelley Myers, and I think we just got one from Jim Tressel.
Oh.
So I'm excited.
For many students, this project has put into perspective just how tragic the Holocaust was.
6 million is a really big number that not very many people can visualize. And I think it's a good representation because paperclips are so small, but when they pile up like that, I'm sure it's going to be a gigantic monument.
Over the past 2 years, Mrs. Kander's classes have raised nearly 1 million paperclips. Mrs. Kander said she's fully committed to raising the 6 million, one paperclip at a time.
I'm committed to as long as it takes to get it done. If I retire in 12 years, if it takes 12 years to get 6 million, I'm in.
With the Holocaust occurring over 7 years ago, it is important to remember all of those who lost their lives in this tragic event.
Mrs. Kander's class is surely helping in this effort by collecting their paperclips.
If you'd like to donate to her paperclip project, please contact Mrs. Kander at kandorj@gjps.org.
This has been David Foley
and Jonathan Mays reporting for WGLH-TV.
Not only do many of our academic programs have traditions of success, but so do our athletics. Colin Strait and Ian Blaney show us what some of these successes and traditions are.
Throughout Gahanna's history, Gahanna has had very good sports programs. One of the teams that has experienced a lot of success this year was the Gahanna varsity football team. The varsity football team went 7-4 this season, losing in the first round of the playoffs to a very good St. Xavier team. The team featured many star athletes, including Jonathan Cooper, who's going to be attending The Ohio State University. With many returning All-OCC players, the team is hopeful for another successful season.
Another program with a long history of success is Gahanna's wrestling team. The team's culture focuses on hard work and perseverance, and this has led to countless state placers and qualifiers. In addition to several other wrestlers, Dolan Martin hopes to build off of last season's state qualifying run.
One of the fastest growing sports programs in Gahanna is lacrosse.
Varsity head coach Chris Robbins is creating a winning culture for the sport in Gahanna. Varsity head coach Chris Robbins is creating a winning culture for the sport in Gahanna. This year's team hopes to build off the important development of young players that took place last season. We had the opportunity to speak with senior three-sport athlete Jake Chobani about balancing athletics and life.
So playing three sports all 4 years of high school, it's definitely been both challenging and rewarding. Balancing my schoolwork, being a sport every season has definitely been one of the biggest challenges. Just keeping up with homework every night when I have at least 2 hours of practice and then games on the weekends. So I definitely have to prioritize my school first and then sports second. But some of the rewards is I've met, like playing lacrosse, hockey, football, I've met 3 different kinds of people in each sport, and I've made like relationships and bonds with people that I know will last forever because of the friends I made through that. And then playing 3 sports, I keep, like, I'm in shape all year round because of it. Like, football keeps me in shape for hockey, and then hockey, lacrosse, football. So just, like, the physical aspect of that has been really rewarding as well.
Arguably one of the most successful teams here at Gahanna is boys basketball. Coach Tony Stibe has led the boys to many OCC and district championships. In addition, the men's basketball team is consistently in the run for the state championship every year. Michigan State commit Nick Ward has a very important role in the basketball team. The team also features several dominant players in Central Ohio. The team is currently 20-2 and hope to go deep into the playoffs this year.
I had the opportunity to speak to former athletic director Justin Sanford about how far Gahanna athletics have come.
Since 2003, our teams, coaches, and programs have won 59 conference championships. So in those 12 years, our coaches and teams and programs have just done a phenomenal job of competing and putting a product on the court and field and track that that all of our community and school can be proud of. And they continue to raise the expectation level of each team that comes after the next.
An up-and-coming program at GLHS is our dive team. The team features rising star and state champion prospect Macy Vieta. The team is under the leadership of seniors Lauren Payne and Leah Gregory.
Being athletes ourselves,
we know how amazing it is to be part of Gahanna's rich athletic history.
This has been Colin Strait
and Ian Blaney from WGLH-TV.
The future of the Gahanna School District is extremely bright.
I am impressed with all of the programs, opportunities, and projects that the students at Gahanna are a part of.
We would like to thank you for joining our 1 hour show. It would be impossible to show all the great programs Gahanna has in just 1 hour.
I have lived in this community for my whole life, and I know the impact that it has had on me and will continue to have on me as I graduate this year. We would like to thank you for tuning in to our special program. Until then, this has been Michael Cromer,
Jason Graff,
and Grace English saying, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance.
Have a great week.
You. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm strong.
I am a wonderful big brother.
I am joyful.
I am happy.
I am fortunate.
I am athletic.
I'm a hard worker.
I am sweet.
I am passionate.
I am cool.
Much.
I am artistic.
I am kind. I am captivating.
I am adventurous.
I am amazing.
I am creative.
I am lucky. I'm funny.
I am loving.
I am cheerful.
I am friendly. I am fun.
I am so much more.
So much more.
So much more. So much more than the average.